This episode's trigger warnings is going to be sexual assault, suicide, pretty much just those two things, but they're pretty much an entire story. So if those things are triggers for you, skip on ahead.
How awful.
Oh, we're going.
Hello.
Oh, we're going.
We are here. Welcome.
Deja vu.
Welcome back.
We just did this.
We did.
You have heard it now.
Yes.
So technically will be our November episode, our first November episode.
Yes.
Halloween is past.
Halloween is past.
You're probably not in the mood for Spoopy anymore.
No, I'm Tanya Lee.
I'm Bee.
What was your favorite Halloween costume?
Ever that I had?
Yeah, ever that you had.
Definitely Hypodermic Sally.
Yeah. That was my favorite of yours, too.
I curated the crap out of that costume.
Yeah.
For those who aren't familiar, Hypodermic Sally was Sarah Paulson's character on AHS Hotel, American Horror Story Hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I found the velvet dress. I found the choker with the Victorian cameo. I found the leopard print coat. I crimped my hair. I mean, I went all out just to go to a party that wasn't that fun.
Yeah, it was not really that great.
It wasn't fun.
No.
And we were all tired and like over it by the time we got there.
Yeah. I was Wednesday.
You were, and you looked awesome.
Yeah, I was Wednesday Addams from the Addams Family.
What was your favorite? You don't always go that all in.
I would love to. I just never have time to.
Yeah.
By the time I think of something, it's too late.
Luckily, I thought of Hypodermic Sally pretty early on. So.
I'd say, maybe this isn't my favorite Halloween costume, but this is my favorite time I dressed up. I dressed up as the Pink Power Ranger, and went to work, with like the head part on, so nobody knew it was me. Mm-hmm. And I was working at Paramount at the time, and walking onto the lot dressed up as a Pink Power Ranger, the looks I got.
I'm sure.
And I walked into my office, and I just like stood in a random place. Like I didn't sit at my desk because I didn't want it to be obvious it was me. So I would just like walk around our production office while all of my...
You have a very specific height. I feel like
it was pretty obvious it was me eventually, but I'm very tall. Yeah. But people just kind of were like, what is happening? Why is there a Pink Power Ranger here? It was really fun.
Sometimes it's just for fun. The honorable mention would have to be the same year, but my work costume, my Beyonce costume. My Beyonce costume. I bought a Bee costume. I sewed the letters for Beyonce on it.
So good.
Yeah. I was on a roll that year, I guess.
Beyonce. Yeah, so...
It's white girl Beyonce. The only way white girls can be Beyonce is by making it a pun.
It's true.
That's it.
So by now, yes, you have heard our Halloween special with our guest, Joseph Morales, who killed it. He brought it.
Yeah.
Told us all about
the Haunted Museum, and I've spent all day... We just recorded it yesterday, even though you're going to hear this a week later, but...
Well, they're only going to hear it 2 days after.
Oh, 2 days after, true. But I've spent all day watching Ghost Adventures Quarantine, and oh boy.
Is it good?
It's interesting. I still am skeptical of Zach Baggins, so...
Yeah.
I'm not skeptical of ghosts, I'm skeptical of Zach Baggins.
Joey really loves Zach Baggins.
Really loves him. I don't know. He's just a little too over the top for me. Too much stuff happens in his episodes for it to be legit to me.
Yeah.
I believe the shows where, you get a few boring ones. Nothing really happens.
Right. And, we're big supporters in not wanting to crap on the things that our friends
No, I love
love
his enthusiasm for Zach Baggins.
That's what I was going to say. Is that we do love that he loves Zach Baggins.
Oh, yeah. I'm actively trying to overcome my... my skepticism of the Baggins.
Yeah.
I definitely want to go to his haunted museum. I don't want him to block me on social media like he did M. Schultz.
No, it wasn't M. It was Christine.
It was Christine? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I don't want him to do that.
From the podcast, and that's
because I would love to have a conversation with him one day.
Right? That'd be kind of cool.
And I'll tell him, look, I don't always believe you. Make me a believer.
Yeah. He might not like that. He seems like he has
a problem with people not believing
him. He has white man ego.
Oh, now you just got blocked.
Well, all white men have white man ego.
Well, not all. There are some that are...
Like, what, like 5?
Yeah, I think there's 5, and they're scattered throughout the world, and it's like a scavenger hunt. You gotta find them. Mm. It's like when that Pokemon Go is a thing, but with the guys who don't have white man ego.
Gotta catch them all.
It's impossible to even catch one.
Oh,
we just made all of our white boy listeners turn off.
No, they know.
Yeah, they know they're toxic.
White women are toxic too, and we are white women. We are very toxic. Yeah. So
what is the white man name for Karens?
Donald.
Oh yeah, we did this already, didn't we? And you said Donald.
This joke. This is a joke times 2.
Oh damn.
All right, so this episode I will be covering aliens because it was part of our How Awful Roulette.
Still sucks that you picked that.
Well, I'm still excited.
Yeah, I know you are.
I like my story a lot.
Now we gotta wait a few weeks before we can pick a awful roulette again, so nobody knows what's in there. And there's fun stuff in there.
We'll get to it.
Boo.
It's gonna be a blast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I have cults again.
But hey, here's the good news. I got aliens for you. So now you're not gonna have to do aliens the next time you pull How Awful Roulette for a long time.
That's true. I don't ever have to do aliens if I don't want to. I can just say dealer's choice. But
yeah, but at least you're not gonna actually pick it and have to make a choice.
And I think we decided after this week that cults is going to go into awful roulette just because, you learn about 1 or 2 cults, you learn about them all. There are definitely some interesting ones.
Yeah, maybe not tonight, but we're going to switch it up in the coming weeks.
In the coming weeks, once we do this round, we'll throw cults in there. Maybe we'll take one that we put in there out that can be a little bit more expansive.
So I go first this time, right?
You do go first this time, yes.
Okay. All right.
So aliens, make me a believer.
Okay. This is probably one of my favorite alien stories.
Okay.
So I'm just coming out with a bang.
Okay.
Might not seem like it, but you'll understand why when I explain after.
Okay.
So this was covered on season 1 of the original Unsolved Mysteries.
Oh.
Yes. We're talking about 19-year-old first-class airman Robert Bob, in air quotes, Matthews.
Okay.
He was preparing for his first tour of duty at a nearby outpost in Cape Cod, Massachusetts. He arrived by bus in front of a place called Dutra's Market at 8:45 p.m. on October 1st, 1966. Note the time, 8:45 a.m.
Got it.
It's really important.
8:45 a.m. Will there be a quiz?
Yes, there's always a quiz.
Oh. Okay.
You guys just don't know it. We do an after recording quiz.
And I cry.
Why do you cry?
I hate tests.
Oh, yeah, that's not nice. Okay, so he arrives at 8:45 p.m. He notices that the place has been deserted. So he calls to the base.
Wait, hold on. You just said PM. Is it PM or AM?
Oh, I did a typo.
You said this part was important.
No, and I typoed because I was tired.
Oh, it's okay. Is it AM or PM? You don't know.
It's PM.
Okay.
So
8:45 p.m.
So we're at 8:45 p.m. He notices that the place has been deserted.
Mm-hmm.
So he calls the airbase using a payphone. And they told him they would send a truck to pick him up, wait there.
Mm-hmm.
So he waits. But he claims that while he was waiting, he saw strange lights moving from right to left across the sky. Terrified at the sight of these lights moving towards him, he immediately ran back to the payphone and called the base again. They asked him, "Where have you been? We sent a truck down there to get you 5 minutes after your call.
Nope.
But when the driver arrived, you weren't there."
No.
Bob's like, "What do you mean 5 minutes after my call? That's like right now. I only called you a few minutes ago. No. I've been here the whole time." They responded by saying, "No, Bob, it's been nearly an hour. It's 9:45 p.m.
No, Bob.
Yeah.
No.
So, yeah. So he's missing an hour.
No.
Clearly.
Is Bob drunk?
So finally brought back to the base, Bob was questioned by several military dudes and repeatedly told them, "No, I was at the market, saw some lights, called you immediately." And they were like, "Whoa, what lights? Did you see a strange object in the sky?" And they were like, kind of mocking him at this stage, suspecting him of having left the market to go drink.
Fair play.
And that he was a drunk.
Fair play.
But of course, Bob insisted that his story was true.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's make note. This was not the only UFO or alien encounter that Bob believes he has had in his lifetime.
Oh, Bob.
When he was about 5 or 6 years old, he saw a green glowing figure in his bedroom. He tried to scream, but nothing came out. He lost his voice and his hearing. Then, all of a sudden, the figure came towards him, lifted up his pajamas, and then did something to his chest that he didn't quite understand. But when he told his mom, she didn't believe him. You sniffing sleep paralysis?
I'm sniffing repressed childhood sexual trauma that he has been put into something else.
It sounds exactly like sleep paralysis to me.
It sounds more like stepdad or dad came in his room at night and he replaced it with something.
I mean, that's a plot.
Less explainable because couldn't do it. Couldn't deal with it.
That's a plot line to a movie that we really like. That we're not going to name because it'll spoil the movie.
It is.
But the reason why I say sleep paralysis is because he names the number one symptom of sleep paralysis, which is the fact that he can't speak or hear.
Oh, wait, you can't even hear?
Well, I don't know.
I know you can't speak.
You definitely can't speak.
Yeah, you can't speak or move. But...
And you try and scream and you can't move. And this is exactly what he is describing happened to him. So my personal theory is that he was suffering from sleep paralysis.
That's fair.
Only because of that fact.
And sometimes sleep paralysis is paired with night terrors.
Yes.
So,
like,
could be both.
Most of the time it's like...
It's paired with night terrors. Like you're seeing things that are not actually... It's like you're having a waking nightmare.
Yeah.
And you can't move or wake up. Or
I've never had it, but
it sounds like
awful.
Yeah, it sounds horrible.
Yeah. So, many years later, in 1987, about 20 years to be exact, Bob found a book by Bud Hopkins, who was a UFO researcher at the time, about a phenomenon called missing time. It became clear to Bob this is exactly what happened to him. This is a quote from the author Bud Hopkins explaining missing time. It is not perceived as a break in which something happens and then a resumption. It is remembered as continuous, and the half-hour trip turns out to be a 2-hour trip or whatever. And this is sometimes experienced in conjunction with a UFO sighting and something like a light, but not always. He also says, I began getting phone calls from people and letters, and many of their sighting reports had pieces of missing time in them. They could not account for why something that should have taken 15 minutes took 2 hours, which also involved a UFO sighting. And so we began looking into these cases and discovered one after another that these were abduction cases.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. So Bob saw a picture in this book of Bud's and was certain that the creature photographed was the one he saw in his room when he was a child. After weeks of intensive interviews, Bud had Bob hypnotized to see if he could remember what happened in October of 1966. And as we all know, hypnosis is a very useful tool to recall lost memories. And under hypnosis, this is what Bob recalled. He said, I observed in the sky 3 lights moving in this direction. They hovered over here, and the red one came at me so fast. I walked up to the ramp, and I looked inside, and I saw 4 beings sitting, and the place reminded me of a doctor's office.
Okay.
So that is the story of Bob Matthews and his missing time. Do you want to see a screen grab from Unsolved Mysteries of a picture of Bob Matthews?
I do. I want to see Bobby. That's Bob Matthews?
I must ask you a question.
Why does he look like an actor that I've seen in things?
Maybe he's an actor portraying Bob Matthews. I don't know.
Maybe.
Look at his little face. He looks very inquisitive.
He does.
And
I have so many explanations.
This is what he saw. Is this creature alien with no eyes.
Your standard run-of-the-mill alien.
Yeah, but back in 1966.
Yeah.
There wasn't really... And okay, here's my theory and why I like this story. So, Bob was in the Air Force, right? So him looking up into the sky and seeing lights moving and seeing something in the sky that he doesn't recognize, that to me is believable when it comes from an Air Force man, because he is seeing something that he doesn't understand in the sky, which is something he's a professional at.
Question: Has he been to active duty? Has he been to war?
This is his first duty.
Where is he again?
He is in just outside Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Is there war? Why is he in Cape Cod, Massachusetts?
Because that's where the base is.
So he has not experienced active war yet?
Not yet.
Okay, so that rolls out. PTSD.
Right, and this story is actually, it's not the first, but it's probably the most popular of missing time stories.
Missing time is also a big, big symptom of mental health.
Yes.
So you can take that or leave it as you will.
Yeah, but we're having fun. We're telling alien stories.
We're having fun. We're telling alien stories. But as I'm sure we will sit here and try and debunk ghost stories.
Yes.
We can still sit here and try and debunk alien stories. Fair. It's a conversation.
Fair.
And I've missed time because of my mental health. I know plenty of people who have. It's a very big symptom of it. So there's a fair chance that, some childhood trauma mixed with, I don't know, being in the Air Force could have strung up some mental health issues. She's not amused with me right now.
No, I'm not amused.
Yeah.
I just believe it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
But I believe it because
like I said, I'm not against aliens because I don't believe in them. I do, and that's why I don't want to deal with it because it scares me.
I believe it,
but stories like this, I'm a little bit more skeptical of because I feel like it can be explained.
Yeah, but I do believe this story only because there are several. Okay, so there was this. Let me tell you my sources because this it kind of goes hand in hand. So my sources were obviously Unsolved Mysteries, Season 1, Episode 10, which aired November 30th, 1988. And then there was this article on unsolved.com that talked about Bob Matthews' missing time experience. But if you scroll down, and I'm going to post this website, if you scroll down to the comments section, it is almost more fascinating than this story.
Really?
But it's so many. Like, there were so many comments that were like, this exact thing happened to me. I saw an unidentified flying object in the sky, and I lost time. And this is the same story that I keep hearing over and over again is I saw something in the sky and I lost time. And it's a very, very common thread in UFO sightings is this phenomenon of missing time. And that's why there's a book about it. And that's why to me, I'm like, because it's in conjunction to seeing something. That they see something and they're like, 5 minutes went by. And then they're like driving and all of a sudden they're like, it's been an hour.
Yeah. You know what's
Where did I go? How did I get so far away from where I was 5 minutes ago?
You know what's an interesting thing to consider is like considering it from like an Earth standpoint.
Yes.
We're constantly, we have NASA. We're constantly trying to go to other planets. Yeah. Explore other planets. So who's to say wherever there might be a planet that has life doesn't have something similar to NASA to them. Correct. And they have these whatever programs coming to explore Earth. Right. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't know how they could develop something that would make us lose time.
I mean, I can't be too presumptuous to assume.
They might have things that we don't have. Obviously, they have things we don't have.
I can't be too presumptuous to assume that we are the only...
Oh, no. Definitely. I definitely don't believe we're the only...
established planet.
Yeah.
In the universe.
No, I definitely... No.
There's this
and just because they think some planets aren't inhabitable, that it might not be able to be inhabited by us.
Right.
I'm
trying to remember the name of this documentary. That's kind of crazy. It's about Area 52. Yeah, and it's about Bob.
51.
Yeah, Area 51. Area 52 is a yeah song.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Area 51. And it's a documentary about Bob Lazar, I think is how you pronounce his name. He was kind of like the whistleblower of Area 51. Yeah. And it's called Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers. And I think it's on Amazon Prime. That's where I watched it. But it's about how he was hired as a special agent at Area 51. And he saw some things and he was a whistleblower. And he talked about the things he saw because he felt it did not seem right that this was kept secret from the public. Right. And the public needed to know. And some people claim that he's fake and he's full of it, but he has a lot of proof. And it's kind of crazy. It's a really, really great documentary. If you are interested in this subject, if you're interested in aliens and all that jazz, check that out.
You are Tanya Lee and not a Bee.
No, my mom and I watched that. Actually, my mom really liked it too.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Mona.
I'm like my mom in the sense where we're both like, no. Yeah. No.
Mona and Tanya Lee were like, wow, aliens.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Bee and Grandmaster Rose were like.
That makes her sound like a late 80s rapper.
She might be.
She might be.
We don't know her life.
I know her life pretty well, but
we don't know. She's
She might be.
She's out in Joliet. She might be, she might have had a change of life course and just didn't tell anybody.
She might have.
Oh.
Grandmaster Rose.
I'd love to hear it.
Drop your beats, Mom.
Drop your beats.
Jeez. She thinks
that's my really bad.
She's always thought she can beatbox.
No, I know I couldn't. I just do it because it's funny.
Oh, I feel bad. I just laughed and I have very bad garlic breath. I know I do.
I can't taste it.
Taste it?
I mean, smell it. I was so stressed.
The horror on my face. Like,
I was so stressed at work. I got Chipotle tacos and I only ate one of the tacos and like 3 chips.
Wow, that is a big... Her not eating is a big... She's going to get in bed. She's going to be hungry.
Yeah, I'm going to have a snack after this. I might have a bowl of cereal.
My snack? We have Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that. It'll be a dessert.
Be a dessert treat.
Yeah. Okay.
You ready to learn about a cult?
Yeah.
I believe... This is like the 5th cult that I looked up for this week because I was deliberately trying to find a cult that didn't believe in aliens.
No wonder you're like these people.
Like
these alien believers.
There's a reason that like 90% of cults believe in some sort of alien or UFO or whatever. Bunch of cults.
Bunch of cults.
Anyway, I'm going to tell you about Children of God.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know about them?
Yes.
So, in 1968, preacher David Brant Berg founded a group initially called Teens for Christ, which at first consisted of young runaways and hippies. This church would evolve into the Children of God, which at one point counted 15,000 members around the world. The church believed in group living and zealous, I can't say this word, proselytizing. Proselytizing.
I don't even know what that word is.
The action of attempting to convert someone from one religion, belief, or opinion to another. It's like being evangelical. Sorry if you hear our assistant purring.
Izzy wants to talk.
She does.
What do you want to say?
The church, not the church. Well, I guess it's a church. The church soon grew to include hundreds of communes. Members of these communities could be isolated as they didn't work. People who held real jobs were called systemites, or people who sent their children to school were called systemites. So these are big-time hippies. They didn't believe in working for the man or sending your kid to school for the man,
Yeah, me neither.
They believed in existing, and sometimes cults don't sound so bad, do they?
Maybe for the woo man.
The woman sounds like a woo man. Like.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's kind of how I interpret women anyway.
Yeah, woo man. Okay.
Woo!
Where are my glasses?
You guys should see this old lady.
I'm an old lady. Berg's church melded worship of Jesus Christ with 60s era free love and preached a fairly standard cult leader prophecy. The apocalypse was coming, and soon.
Sure is.
This doomsday prediction encouraged his followers to live hand to mouth rather than making long-term plans. Ex-members later told The Guardian of begging for alms and subsisting off of donated food. So the cult earned notoriety for its sexual practices, which included what Berg dubbed flirty fishing.
What?
Flirty fishing. Which found him ordering female followers to have sex with men in order to bring them into the cult.
Oh, this backfired.
It did. In 1979, he reported that Flirty Fishers had added 19,000 members to the group's ranks. It was religious prostitution, one of Berg's daughters told Timeline in 2017. The cult reportedly extended its sexual policies to children.
This doesn't sound consensual.
No.
So this is not prostitution.
I think a lot of times they were like, oh, anything, like they convinced themselves it was, but it was coercion. It was manipulation.
This is trafficking. This is a form of trafficking.
And like I just, said, it extended its policies to children. So,
yes. Right.
Allegedly permitting and even encouraging child sex abuse. Berg himself was accused of sexually abusing young girls, including his daughters and granddaughters. It definitely wasn't a safe place to grow up, especially if you were a girl, one former member told The Guardian in 2017.
Ugh, now I'm just pissed off.
Yeah. Close friends of mine growing up were abused and raped.
Ugh.
In 1993, a former member of the group named Ricky Dupuy, I don't know. Yeah, we'll go with Dupuy, appeared on Larry King Live and told the host that he'd been ordered by the group to rape a 10-year-old. Ricky, like other ex-members of the group, later committed suicide.
Oh, God.
David Berg died in 1994, and at the time of his death, he was under investigation from both Interpol and the FBI. His wife, Karen Zerby, inherited leadership, but the cult landed in the headlines again in 2005 after their son, Ricky Rodriguez, killed himself and another former member of the group.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. Rodriguez was well known in the cult. His childhood had been recounted in a parenting manual spread among the members. The New York Times, after reviewing pages of the book sent by former followers, reported that in it, the toddler Ricky is described or else pictured as watching intercourse and orgies, fondling his nanny's breasts, and having his genitals fondled. It's a toddler they're talking about. Berg's son, yeah. Rodriguez left the cult in adulthood, and his wife told the Times that he wanted his mother prosecuted for child abuse.
Yeah.
He also supported other women's accounts that Berg had sexually abused his own daughters and granddaughters. At the age of 29, Rodriguez invited one of his former nannies, a woman who appeared in the book documenting his alleged abuse, and stabbed her to death before killing himself. His wife gave reporters a video he recorded the night before the murder-suicide. He said he saw himself as a vigilante avenging children like him and his sisters who had been subject to rapes and beatings, wrote the Times of the footage. A spokeswoman for the group recently told the BBC that although the Family International, sometimes they're also called the Family International,
right,
has apologized on a number of occasions to former members for any hurt, real or perceived, I hate that, any hurt, real or perceived, that you think happened to you.
Believe survivors of sexual assault, please.
Yeah, it's not perceived. If they
not
said
perceived.
it's true. That they may have suffered during their time in our membership. We do not give credence to tales of institutionalized abuse. So this is where it gets interesting because this church is famous, or this cult is famous, because of the famous children that have grown up in it. Joaquin Phoenix's parents joined the controversial religious group Children of God in the early 1970s and traveled throughout South America along with him and his siblings, including the late River Phoenix, but left when they became disenchanted with the group. And
I was going to bring it up because I knew that they had been members, but I was like, I don't want to spoil it for later. Yeah. So when you originally said it, I was like, oh, this is why I know what it is.
Exactly. When people bring up Children of God, there's always something vaguely accusatory about it. It's guilt by association. I think it was really innocent on my parents' part. They really believed, but I don't think most people see it that way. Sorry. It's always a bubble in my throat. This is a mess. Sorry, everyone. This podcast is a mess today. Anyway, I've always thought that was strange and unfair. I think my parents thought they'd found a community that shared their ideals. Cults rarely advertise themselves as such. It's usually someone saying we're like-minded people. This is a community. But I think the moment my parents realized there was something more to it, they got out. So that was a quote from Joaquin Phoenix.
Right.
Rose McGowan also famously grew up in the Florence, Italy chapter of Children of God. As the adults were busy preparing for the second coming of Christ, the children were kept separately from their parents and mostly left to their own devices. She says, quote, I have no memory of my parents almost until we got out of it, McGowan recalled in interviews' March 1997 issue. Although I learned to read when I was 3, and I have clear memories from that time on, my father ran the Italian chapter, and from the outside it would be considered strange, but if you grew up in it, it's normal. I suppose all children are at the mercy of their parents and whatever trip they happen to be on. My parents were tripping pretty hard.
No, Moosh, no. You're not afraid of me at all.
No, he's not afraid of anybody.
Moosh, no. Oh my God, you just want pets. Come here.
Fluff monster.
Chill.
Though she was a child with no parental guidance, her moral compass told her that what was happening around her was wrong. Quote, I remember watching how the cult's men were with the women, and at a very early age, I decided I did not want to be like those women. They were basically there to serve the men sexually. You were allowed to have more than one wife, she told People. She wasn't allowed to paint her nails, as God could see the filth under my nails.
Why is it always that? Why can't it ever be that she had multiple husbands?
No, it's never. It's always for the men.
Because we wouldn't want that.
No, we wouldn't. One is we're like, we don't want that.
One, I'm like, ugh, that sounds hard.
Yeah, that's hard. McGowan rebelled by burning a wall of Bibles and responding in the negative whenever anyone would ask if she had let God into her heart. So McGowan was Bible burning and being like, no, that sounds McGowan-y.
Yeah, that sounds on brand.
At age 9, she escaped the cult together with her father once it was made clear that sexual relations between adults and children were encouraged. Oh. My dad, Nat, Daisy, and I'm assuming Nat and Daisy are her siblings,
yeah.
And I escaped with my dad's other wife in the middle of the night, she told People. I remember running through a cornfield in thunder and lightning, holding my dad's hand and running as fast as I could to keep up with him. The cult sent people to find us. I remember a man trying to break in with a hammer.
Jesus. That's a very cinematic memory.
It is. So thunder and lightning and everything frightening. In 2004, the church again changed its name to the Family International. Mm. In the years following Berg's death, the group relaxed many of its demands of its followers in an apparent attempt to boost declining membership. Followers are now allowed to live in private homes and work outside of the cult. In 2009, the leadership announced that they no longer believed the apocalypse to be imminent. The church still exists, and though its website says that the group underwent a reorganization in 2010 as an online community, it claims to have 1,700 members.
It's not that many.
No, it's really not.
When there's like billions of people in the world.
Yeah. So yeah, Children of God is
pretty weak.
Hippie sex cults that lots of rape, lots of abuse.
Yeah, the things I knew about it was that it was a sex cult and that Joaquin's family, the Phoenixes were involved but got out in time.
Their names, man. His mom's name, cool. I think, is like Hart. So I feel like she maybe renamed herself.
Maybe. Or maybe their parents, were pre-hippies. Is that a thing?
No, I don't know. I don't think there were hippies in like the 20s.
Yeah.
Naming their child Hart.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't know. I think that's his mom's name. I think I remember reading that correctly.
Yeah.
But these are definitely the two celeb families that make sense.
Yes.
They grew up. Yeah, you guys were in a hippie cult when you were kids. That makes sense.
I worked on a movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
Lovely man.
I didn't actually get to meet him, but I heard he was lovely. Just to reverse some rumors about him.
Yeah.
I heard he was actually really lovely.
Yeah, and in Joaquin's defense, he was very young when he saw probably the most traumatizing thing somebody could possibly see, his brother dying in front of him.
Yeah, one would say that's...
So I think he is allowed to be a little, off his rocker from time to time. I think we all would be.
Yeah.
For sure. So, be nice to Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
And River Phoenix, because he just had a baby and named his son River, which is... So River Phoenix lives again.
Yes.
Isn't that nice?
It is actually really poetic.
It's really nice.
Really beautiful.
It is.
River was so talented.
She was very talented.
So beautiful. And
right up my street.
Yes.
Just straight up my alley was River Phoenix.
And it's really a shame that we didn't get the opportunity to see what he could have become.
Yeah. It's very morbid to be on a Hollywood tour and a sidewalk where somebody died because nobody was helping them is pointed out as like a attraction.
Yeah. And it's messed up because it's like, like you're right, like nobody was helping them and now it's being sold as this like thing to see.
Yeah, it's a Hollywood attraction now.
The worst
Look at the sidewalk.
Yeah,
where River Phoenix died and Joaquin Phoenix had to watch. Like,
Yeah, the worst moment in somebody's life is now
a Hollywood tour's attraction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah, extremely. And here we are, we're like, woo, fun, morbid. Oh, jeez.
I mean, I still find it fascinating to talk about, but I don't want to exploit it, if that makes sense.
No, definitely not. I'm not going to set up like a star map counter on the sidewalk where that happened, but...
Yeah, respectfully discuss and respectfully honor people's lives.
Exactly.
If we can.
That's why I think when we tell, stories about, celebs passing or whatever, we always give a nice hearty bio beforehand.
Of course.
We want you to know their life and who they were, not just what happened to them. It's important.
100%.
And moving forward, we're going to talk about a lot of murderers and will probably give their backstory. But I think it's also important, to take a moment and give the victims backstories when we can.
Yeah.
Because it's not just about humanizing the murderer. It's about humanizing the victim as well.
And like what we can find out or what we know.
Yeah. I think it's just there's less information typically about those people. Yeah. Anyway, my sources were an Interview magazine article called The Obvious History, Rose McGowan's Childhood Polygamous Cult. An Esquire.com article, Children of God Cult. And
someone's in the letter.
Yes, someone's in the letter. Yeah. Yeah, no, that was it. So Esquire magazine and Interview magazine. Yeah, there's plenty of information out there about Children of God. How's that? They're just shitting up a storm over there. They said they didn't do this yesterday.
That would have been mortifying if they...
I was waiting for it, honestly, especially because Moosh was like sitting on top of
Moosh was just way too distracted by
somebody being here.
The candles and the lights. And
he wanted to be Fire Cat very badly.
Fire Cat and...
Anyway, Tanya, what's your How Wonderful?
I guess mine's pretty obvious to you. My How Wonderful is today was...
Oh my God, these cats.
These cats are ridiculous. These assistants are ridiculous.
Yes.
Today was the last day of prep before filming on the show that I'm working on, and filming is always my favorite part of my job.
Yeah, they don't call prep hell for nothing.
Yeah, so Hell Week is over.
Woohoo!
Officially, we start filming tomorrow, and I'm super, super happy.
Woohoo! That's good.
It's really wonderful because
I mean, it's good, but I'm only going to see you for very short stints on the weekends now. But
it's not wonderful for you.
But her job will be easier, which is important.
My job will be less.
Not the time, Izzy. You're fired.
Izzy?
She at least needs to clock out before she starts doing this.
Yeah, I know, right? Maybe she's trying to get her point across that she wants to clock out, but doesn't quite know how because she doesn't have opposable thumbs.
That's fair.
What's your How Wonderful?
My How Wonderful is that we had a friend over, even though we weren't allowed to touch him.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah, and anytime we walked anywhere near him, we had to mask up. But it was nice to see, I guess, a quarter of his face.
Yeah, and honestly, it was so refreshing to have somebody that we really care about in our presence because, as I'm sure you can all relate, it has been several months since we've had someone close to us.
And like we said, I'm sure you heard, we haven't seen him since New Year's. So,
well, I saw him because I was working with him in February. That was the last time I saw him.
It has been a very long haul, far longer than it needed to be. So it was refreshing to see a happy face that I scarred, apparently.
I'm not gonna lie, I had trouble sleeping last night.
Did I scare you too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I had trouble sleeping last night. I kept dreaming that I was editing the episode in my head.
Oh, really?
And then I didn't want to open my eyes because I was scared to open my eyes.
Oh no. I mean, if I'm being fair, it's drummed up some old trauma, and I've been a little like when I didn't want to go to the bathroom until you got home after it got dark here. I just sat on the couch having to pee until you got home because I didn't want to go in my room for some reason.
We should sage the place after we're done.
Maybe we should.
Just for...
I mean, it's probably just bad juju mixed,
So sage will help.
Sage will, I mean, sure, it might. It's going to make things smell a little weedy, but that's fine.
Hokey, but I think it works.
Not that hokey.
No, I believe in it.
Yeah. Got rid of all the crap last time. Yeah. So. Sorry I scared everybody. Sorry if I scared y'all at home.
This was episode 10. We kept it a little tamer because we did have a long one, the last one. So we wanted to just kind of...
We just finished Spoopy season, so we're taking a breather.
Yeah.
Let's see if the old topics for next week are still tame.
This will be a palate cleanse episode. So let's see.
What palate cleanse, sure. Okay.
Palate cleanse, yes. Sexual assault is real cleansing.
Yes, cleansing. See, what did I get? I got lore.
I got celeb deaths.
Fun. Well, not fun.
No, but I actually know what I'm going to do for this, and it's actually going to be really fun. Great. Okay. Well,
you can find us at our website, howawfulpodcast.com. You can follow our Patreon at patreon.com/howawfulpodcast. You can follow us on all of the social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube at How Awful Podcast. You can send our a link to our podcast from YouTube so that your hearing impaired friends can read the transcripts of our episodes. Or we worked very hard on them. They're probably not very well transcribed. You don't get the weirdness, but you get it a little bit. Subscribe, like, review. Yes. Send us your stories to howawfulpodcast@gmail.com. But be nice.
Yeah.
Be how wonderful. Anyway, I've been Bee.
I've been Tanya Lee. And we've been the How Awful Podcast.
And it has been How Awful. As always, we've been Bee and Tanya Lee. Our logo was created by MJ Savard, and our theme music courtesy of Nikki Lou.